Disclaimer. The following video content was created intentionally in a commentary style. This will not be the overall style of the documentary. Origins was primarily offline, and small parts that were online had no value to reenact. If you hear the tone, Panther would like to direct your attention for visual effects, since most of the video is a commentary over the game Splinter Cell Chaos Theory. This was added so you would not have to watch the gameplay, but multitask other activities if you would like. If you hear the tone, simply direct your attention back to the video for additional information worth watching. Panther would like your feedback, so please comment your thoughts down below. If you have any questions on the video, feel free to contact Panther through his gamertag located in the description box or in the comments section. I'm Dividable Halo, and thank you for your time.
So when Reach finally came out, taking the ideas that we had from the LAN days where we were on Halo 2 and Halo 3, where it was just a couple of our friends on playing Xbox together and just doing these tactics and these kind of game nights where we were practicing tactics and becoming better and using that for our entertainment, we decided to make more of a online clan. When Reach came out, I believe we were all online at that point, weren't we?
Yeah.
So when Reach came out, we were all online, and we were I was probably more motivated than the rest of you guys to do this, since the reason I'm still in 5 years going on in this community. So I remember we were working on, we were in school, we were in high school, sophomore year.
Yep.
And we were in computer programming. And I don't know what you built because we were doing HTML.
Right.
We just finished up JavaScript, I think. Or was Basic.
I think we finished up Basic and then we did HTML.
Yeah. So we were and it wasn't that long. It was like a week.
Yeah.
A week or so doing HTML. And what did you do your project on, if you can remember, for HTML?
I don't remember, honestly.
Yeah. I know I did mine on Third Delta. I created the worst possible website ever for a clan, and it was all custom.
Yeah.
The main thing that was in there was I didn't have a background, to be honest. I had hyperlinks, I think that's what they're called.
Yeah.
It was a picture, and you click on the picture, and it takes you to a page.
Yeah.
And it was basically a roster. It was our roster of our members in Third Delta, which we had about 20 people there.
Yeah.
You, me, and Alex being the only three from the LAN days. Alex wasn't there initially.
Right.
But I had all these hyperlinks on this HTML page, and it just led to their Bungie.net profiles. Because at the time, Bungie had control over Halo.
Yep.
And it was just the worst. I mean, it was a good idea, and I'd love to touch up on it again and go back, and knowing what I know now about all that stuff and going into some of that stuff would be pretty great to do.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like I could probably read HTML or JavaScript, but I probably couldn't write it again.
Right.
I'm pretty sure if someone were to sit down and tell me what the code is about, and if I could read it, I pretty much could tell you what each thing would do.
Right.
But as for writing it again, there's no way. I probably couldn't do it.
Yeah.
So at this time, we started actually painting Panthers, and I developed a algorithm that I thought was pretty good. It was good. No one cracked it.
Yeah.
The first algorithm, no one cracked. Someone got close, but he never cracked it. And it was supposed to be a way for us to organize our troops or agents, whatever. At the time, we were an agency. Third Delta was not an agency at this point.
Right.
Third Delta was a military clan.
Yeah.
We did not know what we wanted to do yet. We had that ideology from that guerrilla warfare on Halo 2 and Halo 3, but we did not have the thought. We did not think about putting this into a complete agency. It was just more of special forces. That would be the best thing I can describe. But we weren't even that good.
Yeah.
We were garbage.
Yeah.
We were terrible. The only thing that we usually did was run around and act camouflage and really just had no idea what we were doing.
Yeah.
How we hardly even crouched. It's terrible. So the Third Delta was just, if anything, Third Delta was a learning experience.
Yeah.
We definitely learned a lot from it. We had 3 branches. Do you remember? infantry branches?
Yeah, the Panthers,
Yep.
obviously.
Which did what?
They're like special forces, kind of.
Were you in the Panther branch?
No,
Or were you in?
I was in the Hawks.
There you go, Hawks. And what was the
Right.
last one?
Wolves.
Yep. Wolves, Hawks, and Panthers.
Yeah.
Wolves were our lead infantry, or quote-unquote elite infantry. Hawks was our pilots.
Yeah.
They were supposed to be used for basically rangers and pilots. They were used for primarily, they would get on top of objects and shoot down at the enemy using that tactic to their advantage, and they would use air support.
Mm-hmm.
Panthers, or Wolves, were elite infantry. It was mainly inspired to be quick and deadly. You should be able to engage your enemy and then move on to a different position and keep engaging and not really stay in one spot too long, but engage as a pack.
Mm.
You should be able to engage as a group and take down bigger targets. Like if they were to come across a Scorpion tank, they should have no issues with the momentum and keep everything fluent and moving the same. We never really did develop training for either branches.
No.
We spent, since that was the one that was mainly motivated in the group.
Yeah.
We had it was mainly Panthers that we focused on. I wanted to really get that Panther branch up. I wanted to be very good special forces and keep it strict. And how I was back on Halo 2 where it was push-ups and sit-ups, I had to find something different.
Yeah.
And initially it was crouching. We'd hold the crouch and you would shoot off your rifle at them to make sure that if it was the one that you just pressed, if you got shot, you would stand up.
Right.
It's just how the game worked. But if you had to hold the crouch and you were holding it in, if you got shot, you would stay crouched. That's how we knew.
Mm.
That, or if you had an automatic weapon or whatever in your hand and you press start to try to like sneak out of it. Well, if you had an automatic rifle and you press start, it would just unload ammunition. So that's another way you could tell if people were doing things that they weren't supposed to be doing,
Right.
or how it was instructed. So we had I don't remember how many people we had before we had our first I think it was just Ace and Envy and Comb.
And then Cameron came in later.
Yeah, that was later. Because we had Ace first. He was our first member.
Yep, he was.
And then I don't even know how we met. It probably had to be matchmaking.
Yeah, I think it was.
And then we had Envy and Comb, which Alex found on Red Dead Redemption.
Yep.
I don't know how that conversation went from playing cowboys to playing futuristic Spartans. But,
Well,
I mean,
yeah,
I'm sure
I
it's,
mean-
it's gaming. So I'm pretty sure what games you have, and
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Halo Reach came up. Anyways, they brought this Envy and Comb character to me, basically. And when it came down, I don't know how it came down to it, but Ace was in your branch right away.
Yeah.
He was a Hawk.
Yeah.
And Comb was in Wolves initially, because Panthers you had to be selected.
Yeah.
And they both wanted Panther.
Yeah, they did.
They both wanted to do the Panther thing. And Panthers were at the time supposed to be elite special forces. Obviously, at that point, I mean, it's still within the first couple months. I did not have training developed. I had no idea what I was going to do with it yet.
Right.
All I knew is I really wanted to implement the active camouflage
Yeah.
into the group. So I decided to just wing this whole thing. We put Ace and Envy and Comb into the hangar and blocked off the hangar. And gave them 2 Magnums, and it was a 1v1 with Magnums. And whoever won was going to be in the Panther group.
Yeah.
And Envy and Comb ended up winning, and he ended up becoming Panther 39. And how the numbers worked is the first 2 digits out of your 6-digit number was your basically your call sign. For example, mine's 130210. I'm 13, and 26 is 260420. He's 26.
Mm-hmm.
Those were basically, and a lot of people confuse it. Those were basically our ID numbers and our social security numbers. Like, we had to memorize those numbers.
Yeah.
That was like drilled into your head, and it kind of just went with that. Like, hey, you need to know your numbers, and it stuck. The funny thing is that with the tryouts, it was just random. It was just, I had no idea what I was doing, because I was still like basically a noob.
Yeah.
I didn't know what I wanted to do with the Panthers. I was still, I would have been what, 14? 13, 14?
In 2010.
2010? That would have been, what, 5 years ago? That would have been 15.
Yeah.
Yeah, holy shit. So I was 15 at the time.
Yeah.
When Halo Reach came out. Can you imagine that? I mean, we joke about it now, at least in clans that you're just a 14-year-old squeaker, 15-year-old squeaker, and I'm seeing them trying to develop the most crazy intelligence group ever. Or at the time we didn't know we were going to do intelligence, but I wanted to make this group that was intelligence or special forces, commandos basically. I remember we talked about making our maps.
Yeah.
And I don't know, we had the idea that it was supposed to be more like Third Echelon. From the game Splinter Cell. That's where that name comes from, is from Splinter Cell. That was that was a huge inspiration. And we wanted to make a headquarters. Mm-hmm. And the only thing that we could think, because they don't show the headquarters, we did not know what the Third Echelon headquarters looked like. So, I mean, it's New York. We assumed a skyscraper or some sort of tower. So we decided, I mean, we were called Third Delta at the time, so we just said, it's called Delta Tower.
Yeah.
And I know Alex started creating it, and we wanted those nooks and crannies, those little areas that people would overlook, because in the event that they would infiltrate or go into our building, our home field advantage was the fact that we were in active camouflage, or that we could go in active camouflage, and we could hide in these little nooks and crannies, these little blind spots to everybody else. Mm-hmm. We could flank them or envelop them or just ambush them if we needed to.
Yeah.
And believe it or not, when we got into the community, very heavily into the community, when we had our group Third Echelon, that was such a major advantage because people were so used to fighting on fire bases or fighting on castles or whatever. Right. You go into a Delta Tower, your training and you're practicing those raids was for nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, it just did not help you because you're versing an enemy you have never fought before. Not just in that logical context, but the fact that you are fighting an enemy with a style that you haven't engaged in this way. Right. Yeah, you may run into a couple people in matchmaking who use active camouflage, but they weren't focused on active camouflage. Right. They were focused on either sprint or armor lock or jetpack. Those were the three main ones that I ran into in matchmaking. Was those three, and every now and again you run into invade. But overall, our focus was active camouflage, and I'm not going to get too much into the training, but one thing we did practice with is spotting active camouflage. We did a lot of that.
Yeah.
One thing that we and this is more in Third Echelon that we did this. We had something called the dark tests, which was one of the make or break points to be a Panther.
Yeah.
Those who remember that, it was broken up into 4 different courses. Course 1 was in the hangar, and it had those special effects to where the entire map was like dark. It was to replicate night.
Right.
And you were given a shotgun and active camouflage with no shielding, or your shields wouldn't recharge.
Right.
Because what would happen is once you spawn back, you could see where those shields were. It defeated the purpose.
Yeah.
And killing someone with a shotgun was 1 point. Assassinations were like 5 or 10. So that was, and this wasn't just, oh hey, we're gonna do this one time and then the next day we'll start the next one. No, these dark tests were all in a row. Yeah. We had to schedule them to where everybody would be online, primarily on the weekends, and do all these dark tests. Yeah. Initially, I started doing them with some of the candidates or the applicants, or what we later called them as cubs. What we wanted to do is we wanted to just really focus on, if you're going to use this, like using this weapon, you need to understand it completely. You need to be effective with this.
Right.
Not just in using it, but finding it. And that way, if someone tries to copy our tactics, they would still not be at our level. They could throw on active camouflage, and it would not help them. We would be able to spot them.
Yeah.
And that was the goal, and I think we captured that very well.
Yeah, yeah.
Even to the point where I remember Panther 23, Banana King.
Yeah.
We were playing a random survival game, infection game, and he was the infected, not camouflage.
Yeah.
He must not have known who he was stalking, But I turned over and saw him right away.
Oh yeah.
And he was against the rock. He was trying to be all sneaky. I'm like, no, fuck you. I see you.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was very.
Yeah, you could spot it really quick after that.
Yeah. Once you knew what to look for, it was very easy. It was almost impossible to hide from one another. You had to be good. You had to be very skilled with that camouflage to have fun with that.
And sometimes these tests would be an entire 24 hours
straight.
straight.
Oh yeah. That was the main make or break point. After we did the dark test, we had a 24-hour test where you had to stay up for 24 hours. And the logic behind that is because spotting after camouflage can already be sometimes annoying. Like trying to spot if you know if you're finding someone who's after camouflage, you can just look at the radar. But the thing is, with that, we disabled the radar to where you had to focus on finding the distortion in the walls or wherever the person was hiding. Yeah. But the 24-hour test, I've done that more than enough times. We had 22 Panthers. I didn't do it all the time because some of the Panthers didn't make it that far. Right. But the sleep deprivation was the key.
Oh man, yeah.
I made sure that you were tired and weak to where you were still doing this crap, this ridiculous hunt training. And think about it. It's one thing to stay up all night with your buddies and joke around and have a good time. It's another thing to do it while being silent in an act of camouflage, hunting someone else in an act of camouflage who's being silent.
And everything's dark.
Everything's dark. Everything's silent. That was the point. It was supposed to be a challenge, and we've had a couple of times. I think Cameron and maybe Combe passed out in training.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, I remember Combe did.
Yep, and we had to redo it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we did the next day too.
I don't remember if I passed out or not, but I remember coming close.
Yeah, I mean it's tough. It's very tough to do that because it's. I mean, I can't do it now anymore.
No. I'm way too old for that.
Not only that is that my sleeping schedule relies around work.
Oh right, yeah.
So I mean, I had to get up at a certain time and do stuff, and then come back, and then it's at that point I'm just like fuck it. But no, we were really lucky to do it back when we were younger, and we were kind of used to that too. Yeah. From staying up from Conviction, staying up playing Battlefront 2 or Battlefront, I mean it was just a common thing for us. So when we did this Panther test, it really wasn't the hardest thing. Was just trying to entertain yourself. Yeah. I mean, you're thinking you're walking around in camouflage almost 24 hours. It's just boring as fuck. But I think it benefited those who passed it dramatically. Yeah. I mean, the Panthers that we had here initially were not skilled combatly. Right. Overall in combat, we were garbage.
Aside from Combe, he's always been a good player.
Sniper, marksman. He was never good at anything else, to be honest. You give him... Actually, believe it or not, Combe thrived the best towards the end of Third Echelon. Really? Yeah. That's where he really shined. And he just blended in. Combe just blended in with everybody else. He just blended in the group of the Panthers. Didn't do shit. Didn't do amazing. We all have our games where we do shit or we do really good. But he just overall blended in. He was a pretty good sniper. He was our best sniper. Right. But about that, the next thing that we had was the first alliance, which was the REF, the Reach Elite Forces, led by Caleb 10909. I do not have any pictures of him, unfortunately, but I remember how we got into the war. I was training 39, and he came into our map on Delta Tower 1. That was the only map that was created for us at the time. Mm-hmm. And he wanted to watch us train. I didn't see a big issue with that at the time. Now, I would have been like, no, fuck you. Get out. But at the time, I wanted to keep an alliance. I wanted to keep it healthy, and I understood that sometimes there's these situations. So be it. I told him not to go out and hemorrhage and stay up on where Delta Tower 1 is and just kind of watch. He didn't listen, didn't give a shit, and walked out there and got killed. I told 39, in the event that you get, he's in your way, kill him. Yeah. I don't care. He killed him twice. And then he said, if I get killed one more time, we will declare war. I'm just sitting there thinking like, fuck it, shot him, killed him. I just can't stand those type of cocky people who just sit there like, oh, I have authority over you, or I'm better than you. I mean, yeah, they outnumbered us, but they really made that mistake. Oh, when we got in that war, they had their base was set up in the hangar. Our outpost, if you want to call it that, was set up on the south side of Hemorrhage.
Yeah.
At the time, they didn't have they didn't do team raids. That was at the time. I don't know. They did do team raids. I lied. They did have team raids because I remember always spawning there, and they always spawn in their base.
Yeah.
So it came down to they had goshawks up the fucking ass there.
Yeah, they did.
And we didn't know. We were like, holy fuck, this is ridiculous. Like, our tower was based on logic and theatricality and deception. Theirs was based on, fuck you, I'm going to shoot you with a goshawk.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like, really? I remember, they only had like 2 guys on those goshawks, so. But they're goshawks. It did,
Yeah.
One falcon going up in that area, it doesn't take much to kill it.
Yeah.
And,
we did find ways around them, though.
yeah, oh yeah, we did. We used their visibility to their disadvantage.
Yeah.
We'd either move close to the rocks near the waterfall and got right under their nose to where those goshawks could not shoot down at us.
Yeah.
Or we went all the way around the other side where the open water is and kept low.
Yeah.
Really low, and then use that
I always did that.
that pillar to our advantage. And I remember this was it was with their base. I ended up infiltrating it and getting inside their armory and killing a shit ton of them.
Yeah.
And then I hid. They tried searching for me. They thought I just ended up dying off or whatever. I got killed or some shit like that. They didn't pay attention to me. So I came back and started firing at them again and started killing some more of them. I was really racking up the points, and I kept hiding in the same spot. It was like this little cranny, this little nook and cranny that they just overlooked every time. And I remember having active camouflage too, but I didn't use it. I did not use the active camouflage because it jams radar.
Yeah, they had radar. Yeah.
Exactly. So why would I? The point of invisibility was to not be seen.
Right.
If I was in a spot that they weren't looking at, why would I telegraph my presence by activating active camouflage? It didn't make any sense. Yeah. So I didn't. And then I don't know why I did this. This is probably the stupidest mistake that I did, but it worked out very well. I wanted to get out of there. I wanted to get out of the base. And I asked for an evac. And Ace, one of our other pilots, was coming to get me. But they brought up a scorpion and just blasted him out of the sky.
Yeah.
And I kind of like peeked out and saw that, and I'm like, well, shit. And I'm like, I'm still in here, and I need an evac. And I couldn't just go up there and kill a tank because I noticed they had a guy in a machine gun, or a mounted machine gun, right there.
Yeah. So
and I have active camouflage, so I don't have sprint. So if I were to even walk up to this fucking thing, this scorpion, they're gonna be like, oh hey, there he is.
Yeah.
Kill him. So I needed an evac, and 26 ended up grabbing a falcon, flying low on the pillar side, going up just like we were doing to get in, and he came up and went straight past the scorpion. The scorpion missed his first shot, and as the scorpion's turning, as soon as he said he was like coming in, I got up and ran out there, or jogged since I didn't have sprint, and jumped in right away so he didn't lose his momentum, and we went all the way around the scorpion. So the scorpion's turning all the way around like a 360 turn, trying to get a shot at us while his machine gun is shooting at us. And those, obviously machine gun's not going to do much to a falcon.
You're right.
At least for the duration that we were in there. But this scorpion is turning at 360 degrees, trying to get a shot at us, and we're already gone.
Yeah.
We just dropped down from the pillar and we just took off.
Yeah.
That was probably one of the best things ever for doing that, because it was so like nerve wracking. We're like,
oh yeah,
shit, we can't, hopefully we won't die. It was outstanding.
Yeah, that was some of the best flying I'd ever done.
Yeah, it was fun too. Back then, I mean, I know raids are really different now, but back then the raids was very fun, because they actually gave you weaponry to fight with, not just hey, take it up the ass for 7 hours and that's it. Because obviously you don't know this now, but I've seen a lot of gameplay where people will spawn with swords and you can't shoot a sword.
Yeah.
And the other team is given like DMR and snipers.
Wow.
And not only that, let's say you have the base in the south, their spawn on the south side of Hemorrhage.
Mm-hmm.
They'll be given maybe some Covenant vehicles, not even a base. And the enemy team will have this whole fucking fire base.
Yeah.
And the minute you walk out there, you get shot.
Yeah.
So let's say I'm going to say one view that they were on the island or Paradiso, and you spawn on the south side of Hemorrhage without a vehicle.
Yeah.
So you have to run from the south side of Hemorrhage to that island
Just to get shot.
Just to get shot.
Yeah.
And if you backed out of the raid, you lost the raid.
Yeah.
That's bullshit.
Yeah.
That's just that's just stupid. That's just, I don't get it.
Yeah.
How can you consider that a raid? That's just spawn killing.
Yeah.
It is spawn trapping.
Yeah, basically.
It's stupid. It's not fun for anybody.
Yeah.
Think about it. You're sitting there. Regardless, it's a win-win for the team that's hosting it or that's defending, because you have to defend for no amount of time until you get bored.
Mm-hmm.
You get so bored that you're like, oh well, we won anyways.
Right.
Or the other team leaves the game, and it's considered a loss for them.
Right.
Regardless, it's stupid.
Yeah.
Back when we did raids in Third Delta, they gave us snipers. They gave us Spartan lasers.
Yeah.
Falcons, Warthogs, Scorpions. It was legitimate warfare.
Yeah.
It came down to tactics and strategy.
Yeah, basically.
And that was fun.
Yeah, it was literally they were defending a base and we were attacking.
Yeah.
It was as equal as you can get in that scenario.
Yeah, the only difference was they had a better looking base.
Yeah.
And maybe some more weaponry.
Yeah.
But the spawn times equaled it out.
Yeah.
You may not have 3 snipers, but you had better spawn time than they did.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't make a difference. Yeah, you may have 1 sniper, but they have 3. No big deal.
Yeah.
That sniper spawns back, so you can do more with it and whatever. And you climb Alaska, you can climb Montana. I mean, actually, believe it or not, at the time Montana wasn't known to be climbed. Everybody can climb Alaska, or could climb Alaska at that point, from what I understand. I know we did.
Yeah.
But Montana, we didn't know you can climb at the time. That wasn't until in the UN that we found that out. I remember that day too, because some of the Rangers were trying to tell me how to climb Montana. I'm like, yeah, no, I don't know how to climb it. But no, so the RAF they lost the war. We ended up dominating them actually.
Yeah.
You
were the one with the most kills, obviously.
Yeah, oh yeah, that all the time actually. And Combe was a lot of help because he supported me in combat, and that's what I was looking for. I was looking for that supporting role.
Yeah.
You had fun with that with the heavy weaponry, the big armored out Panther or Hawk with a fucking rocket launcher and a Spartan laser, or a rocket launcher, Spartan laser with a shotgun type of deal. You either have a shotgun with one of those 2 heavy weapons or both 2 heavy weapons.
Right.
And you were just like one like juggernaut type of deal, like the juggernaut Panther that just, oh, there's explosives, fuck, I'm in, let's do it, fuck it. So after we beat the REF, we received 3 recruits from that clan because Caleb 10909 was going to PC to play Minecraft with a lot of the clan with a lot of his members, and 3 people either didn't have PCs or did not want to do that, or for whatever reason asked to join Third Delta.
Mm-hmm.
And at the time, it was a completely different time of that period, to where it was more like, I need members.
Right.
Sure. Now, if you beat a clan and met 3 members coming your way, you're like, bullshit, they're spies.
Right.
It's basically how it's been now.
Yeah. It was a simpler time.
Oh, it was. It was so easy too back then. It's so easy. So this guy, what was it? Shadow Hawk, Shadow Fox, and Jugger Bounty. They all came to us and wanted to be part of Third Delta. And like I said, simpler time. We were like, sure, why not? We ended up training them, and Shadow Hawk became Panther 520. I don't remember the rest of the numbers.
I don't remember either.
Maybe I can pull it up real quick and look at it.
Yeah.
No, I only have the 2 digits.
Ah.
But he was 52.
Yep.
Envy and Combe became Panther 39. It was U26.
Mm-hmm.
And Jugger, he was actually our security guard.
Yeah, he didn't become a Panther until later.
Yeah, that was after third echelon ended.
Yeah.
We made him an official Panther. He was our security guard.
Yep.
And his responsibility was to wear armor lock,
Yep.
wear a shotgun, and I think a rocket launcher, and stand at the front door while we went out and trained.
Yeah.
And he did that.
He did.
For hours.
Yep.
We were training for 4 or 5 hours, and all he would do was sit there
Yep.
in armor lock.
Yeah.
Or not sitting in armor lock, but just standing by.
Yeah.
In the event that someone tried to join the game, he would be there to meet them with a shotgun and an armor lock with fully loaded grenades.
Yep.
And every now and again, I would sneak away from training. I'd sneak into the base or sneak by the base and throw a grenade on him. And he'd have to go in armor lock.
Yep.
That told me if he was paying attention.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd do it randomly. It was never like, oh, hey, I'm coming after you. I made sure it was just like completely clandestine. Like, oh, I'm going to go sneak away real quick. And snuck inside the tower, the front entrance, and threw a grenade at him. I've only killed him twice. And he only wasn't paying attention twice. And one of the excuses was like, oh, I just looked down at my phone for a second. I'm like, no, that's not an excuse. Yeah, I pay attention. Although that was the worst job ever. I cannot imagine sitting there for like 4 or 5 hours, just sitting there waiting for someone to not join the game.
Yeah.
No one's joined before. I think there was only one or two times where he actually was in use as a security guard.
Yeah.
It was still 3rd Delta, and we ran into the Revant Assassins, led by Cornwell, or Dr. Cornwell. And now he's in college, but he had this group of Revant Assassins, and they were basically like a Panther group. They were loyal to one another, and did what was right, and did what they could for one another, and did what was morally right.
Mm-hmm.
And we were in a meeting with them, and someone joined, and this is way off from the timeline. I don't know if this was in 3rd Echelon or 3rd Delta, but some random people joined who he was at war with or was at conflict with, and we handled that tactically. And he was very impressed, and I was just sitting there like, this is just logic.
Yeah.
You know, this is what you should do in a situation like this.
Yeah.
So that's when I kind of realized what I wanted to aim for, what I should be doing, is I should be aiming for practicing for scenarios. Someone joins the game, what do you do? We lose the base, what do you do?
Yeah, right.
We get overrun, what's your tactic, what's your move? What should you adapt to? How should you adapt to this?
Mm-hmm.
That's when I realized what kind of training I should be doing. Is not, I'm going to stand in a line for however long saying yes sir or no sir. I wanted to make training that was based on logic and scenarios. You run into a scorpion tank, or you're a scorpion tank in the field that's not on your side. What do you do? How do you engage it?
Mm-hmm.
You know, so that was one thing that really pushed me to do this. So at this point, we had, I don't know when Dakota 5 through 24 came into the picture. It's either it's either a little bit after REF, before the Cone Clan, or after the Cone Clan. One of those two. But the next one is Cone Clan, which was our first rebellion.
Mm-hmm.
From what we know, this was the first time that we experienced assassinations.
Mm-hmm.
Where we actually obtained an assassination on the clan leader, and that was due to 39.
Yeah.
He found a secret entrance into the base.
Yeah.
They had developed this fire base all around the entire island of Paradiso. And at the time, I don't know what I was doing. The first raid I missed. It was a day raid.
Yeah.
Where the map was basically day.
Mm-hmm.
The first one that I went in was night.
Mm.
And he said this was a second version of the map. And I'm like, all right.
Yeah, I think I was there for the day one, but wasn't for the night.
Yeah, and I remember 39 found a way to break inside their base. And I'm like, fantastic. Well, let's do it. As for this rebellion, on why it started, it was because we took the game too seriously. Because we were military structured, and some of the members didn't like that. Which, I mean, it comes down to it's how you enjoy the game. So if you don't enjoy this, then why? I don't know. I didn't see the logic in starting a rebellion besides the activity and something to do.
Right.
The fact that they just made a rebellion was just, in my eyes, like, really? You couldn't just say, all right, this isn't for me, see ya.
Yeah.
They just had to do this rebellion. I can't remember who the leader was. Although it's at the tip of my tongue, too. I do remember what their emblem looks like.
Yeah.
It was like a cone, and it looked like it's like, I don't know, it looked like a little explosion, I think. It was the stupidest fucking clan. Their clan was based on having fun. And it was like a massive rebellion towards us. And we didn't really see it like that. We saw it as practice, if anything. Like,
right.
Now we know what now we can get some practice in and see what we can do. But we ran into we fought on their Delta, or not Delta, but we fought on one of their maps, this Cone clan map. And no, actually, none of the bases we fought on actually had any cones in it. But 39 found this secret entrance in the back of the base, which was just poor forging.
Yeah.
They leveled out the wall, this entire wall coliseum that they had around the entire map, or the entire Paradiso Island. And what they didn't realize is since they leveled it all up compared to the top or whatever, to make the top look nice and smooth, the bottom, since there was a hill or some sort of like small hill, it literally created a gap just big enough for us to crouch through. Yeah. And we literally crouched in there, and then we started infiltrating. We started attacking them right inside their base. Mm-hmm. And this one was also on teams. Yep. Team raid. And the leader ended up going AFC for a little bit. Yep. And we broke inside, not just their area, but inside their actual base, because it wasn't that protected. Right. Their main defense was that wall, and once we broke into that wall, they didn't have anything to really block anything off. Right. And I remember walking into one of the dry caves of Paradiso. I remember walking into one of the dry caves in Paradiso, and he was right there. Yep. AFC, and I'm like, oh, I could just shoot him with a grenade or shoot him, with a rifle or something, but I could also assassinate him because that's the thing here. Yeah. And I assassinated him, and I'm like, I should record that. Yeah. I could end this war. Bribe him or something. Yeah. And after I got the assassination, I mean, a couple minutes later, they ended the game and they kicked us from the lobby, and we went back. This would have been still my general account, because this is when I was still General 130210. Yeah. I wonder if I still have that on there. Maybe. That'd be interesting. Since I was using this other account, not the one that I'm using now, but I don't know if I recorded it. I know I went back and recorded it, but I don't know if I still have it. I'll have to check that. Mm-hmm. But we ended up bribing that with him, saying that we'd post it in the file browser as for the assassination of a clan leader. It's an embarrassing thing, and at the time, it was really embarrassing for that, or something you just didn't want. So he ended up calling off the war. But before that war got called off, we actually had to fight one of our own custom-made fire bases called Delta Cloud, which you guys can see here. Mm-hmm. It is literally a tactical fire base. It's designed for strategic advantages for us, but not in the same way that most people would actually develop their bases. Even to this date, I don't see these type of designs out. With these flanking positions here, we were able to cover that blind spot that we recognized from the REF. Yeah, it was in the same area in the hangar, but we knew those blind spots were there, and we decided to put these vehicles out here and cover them up, look like there were other rocks part of the map, and actually nobody noticed until we started firing at those positions. Yeah, and they were like, "Oh shit," So those were pretty interesting. Yeah, we never lost Delta Cloud once. I can say that because it was completely overpowered. We had 6, I think I'm going off memory here, 5 or 6 Goshawk turrets. Yeah, positioned kind of around the area, not specifically in the base. Yeah, we had 2 on front of the base, connected by a bridge, and then we had 3 out in the field. Yeah. Or 2 out in the field, and then 1 sniper nest with a head of rockets, Spartan laser, and a sniper. Yeah. That was hidden. Yes. It was concealed by rocks. Yeah. And a teleporter to get there and a teleporter to get back. No, I lied. It was a teleporter to get there, but you had to get picked up in a Falcon to get back. Yeah, because they could get to those. Yep. Yeah. If they were to find it, once that position was open and realized that was there, they could go to that position. If there was a 2-way teleporter there, then they can go back to our base. And we didn't want that. Yeah. wanted the only way to get inside the base was going through this blockade of clandestine vehicles, which were tactically placed up on the base. So
Right.
it was unique, and we never lost it. It got infiltrated, but they didn't get very far.
Right.
Because they fucking slammed a Falcon in there, which is pretty hilarious. Because we had that guard. The way we had it was there was one guard there with a grenade launcher and a rocket launcher.
Yep.
Who, if someone were to break in, he would grenade launch the Falcon, so it would hit the deck or hit the cement or metal, whatever.
Yeah, it would EMP it.
Yep, EMP it. He switched to rocket launcher, launched a couple rockets at it. There we go, problem solved.
Yep.
And we didn't really have a problem with that. So it was very tactically planned out, but it was still very overpowered. We still gave him a lot of stuff. We gave him Scorpions, we gave him snipers, Spartan lasers. We gave him the whole 9 yards. We gave him a shit ton of Banshees too, as I recall. But that one was kind of overpowered. Even to now, I still wouldn't use that now. But it was definitely something interesting for our first fire base to be created.